Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about my review for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, I'm kind of going to be switching up the way that I do reviews. Usually I go by story, visuals, audio, gameplay, and overall. I'm still going to kind of do that, but instead of having a whole script, I'm kind of just going to have little plot points and just go straight off the dome. Number one, story, obviously. Without saying too much, the story is about Eivor and his brother Sigurd leaving Norway and moving to England in order to pursue a more grand, honorable path because of some complications at home. They get into a lot of adventures, a lot of scuffles, there are good times, bad times, you laugh, you cry, and it's a pretty decent story. There's a few different storylines going on at the same time. There's one going on specifically with Eivor, his brother Sigurd, and one of the hidden ones that accompany them named Basim, and another arc with the Isu kind of intertwined with Norse mythology, and then there's the takeover of England itself. And it gets a little confusing at times, and I feel like the Sigurd, Eivor, and Basim storyline is supposed to be the main focus. It's a pretty good story. I think Eivor has a lot of character, and so do most of the other supplementary characters that you meet along the way. One thing that serves to bring the game down, some of the strange dialogue and voice acting that kind of seems corny or cringy and just doesn't fit the mood well. Also, the fact that in multiple instances, me playing as male Eivor, I'm referred to as she, her, yada yada yada, and it kind of takes me out of the experience because it just shows me that they were not focusing hard enough on certain dialogue paths for different genders. I've been playing this game for over 150 hours at this point, and the story was pretty good. There were a lot of points where I was like, damn, that's crazy. I can't believe that they did that. If you're looking for a game to get invested in, I would say that this game is definitely worth a shot. Now on to our next category, visuals. They're pretty, sometimes they're not. Especially with random NPCs, they have this muddy plastic texture about them that just makes them seem unrealistic. I feel like they made Eivor and the main roster of characters super detailed and super realistic. All the budget went there. But then when it came to the random NPCs that you meet, their eyelids are clipping through their cheeks, their faces are smooth, their proportions just don't look right. It just felt more like dead fish people that I'm watching walk around doing nothing. It felt kind of lifeless. But other than that, the environments that you traverse through are honestly spectacular to look at. I remember early on in the game when I was first playing, going into Norway and seeing the Aurora Borealis and all the snow-covered mountains and going into caves, especially with the torches and the aesthetic that brings when you see the light bouncing off of the cave walls. That was just fantastic. It was very, very atmospheric. It really reminded me a lot of games like Ghost of Tsushima, which are really, really heavy on the atmosphere section. It's a very beautiful game to look at, but in some more personal instances, the graphics aren't really the best. And for the next section, audio, I would say audio is pretty damn good. Music was amazing. They brought back Jesper Kyd and a list of other great composers. One that was from the show Vikings. It had very heavy, intense, suspenseful beats. It really wound me up. It got me excited. It got me sad. It was awesome to listen to. For the weaponry, I would say sometimes it sounds a little lackluster. Like certain weapons hit hard as hell and you feel that impact and you see it and you hear it and it's awesome. And then some other weapons is like you're hitting someone with a spoon and you're just hearing like a little clink clink. Ambience is obviously one of the biggest things that you would have in an open world. You hear wind blowing, you hear birds chirping. It sounds really good, at least to me. You can't really go too wrong with environmental sounds, especially with the long roster of pre-made sound effects. I do notice that there were a lot that were reused over and over and over again. I didn't like it because it just kind of seemed low quality that they're using some basic royalty-free sounds. Audio was good. but of course had some issues in more personal instances, same as visuals. Now for gameplay, what do I have to say about gameplay? Well, first of all, I don't like the combat. I never have. Ever since Origins, I've really detested the path that they took with this style, this RPG style. I think personally, Unity was the way to go, but they should have improved upon it instead of just completely scrapping the engine. Stealth, okay. I like stealth in games, especially in Assassin's Creed games, but I feel like in this game in specific, stealth has been kind of wonky. People spot you within a fraction of a second, and it kind of feels unbalanced. I have the difficulty set all the way up to the hardest difficulty because I wanted a challenge. I didn't want artificial difficulty where they just spot you and then everyone knows where you are and you can't do anything about it. The little mini games that are scattered throughout England are pretty fun. I like the drinking contest. I like the board game. Actually, kind of surprising that I like them that much because usually in Assassin's Creed games, they're notorious for making terrible mini games. Now, if we're going into interactions with other people, such as NPCs or whatnot, I don't like how they reuse animations from one big animation pool. It's kind of lazy because they don't want to do mocap for every single conversation that you have. Exploration is pretty well done. You have a vast amount of side activities, collectibles, all that stuff that you would expect to find in an Assassin's Creed game. It's here. It feels a lot less packed with fetch quests, like you're actually building yourself up, and there's a reward for every activity that you do. Overall, I think gameplay, it could be worse, but it's not the best. Overall, I think I would give this game a 7.75. I bought this game when it was first announced. I pre-ordered it and I was like, I'm gonna hate this game. This game is gonna be an Odyssey clone and I'm gonna regret my purchase. And when I got into it and I played through the entire game, I was surprised that I would even play it for 150 plus hours. And here I am. And here I am making a review. I didn't think I would do that either. But this game, for me personally, I know I might be missing out on a couple of things here and there, and I might not be the least biased person, but this is how I feel. The game is good. It's definitely a step up in Assassin's Creed because there are a lot of things, quality of life improvements, a lot of fan service that makes me think, okay, they're listening. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did and you're not already subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. Love you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces.